Now, I've always had an interest in native plants, and as we're getting on a little further into the fall now, I have come to get the expertise of Mike Berkeley at Grow Wild about some native plants that will give us some fall and winter interest in the garden. So Mike, thanks for having us, and I've got a little Carex here. This is Carex cherokeensis?
Yes, and you know the sedges are hot right now in
Yeah.
the native world, and we're using them as ground covers and shade and some sun. And this is Carex cherokeensis, and they call it the Cherokee sedge. And it's fully evergreen. It's great in a woodland, high shade, and in some sun as well. Good filler plant and fully evergreen.
A great little ground cover type plant that will make good feet for other.
Maxes out at about a foot tall.
Right. And the plant that you're holding with those beautiful kind of burgundy
leaves. The beard tongues are really coming on. This is a new selection of the foxglove beard tongue and Penstemon digitalis pocahontas. It's a little shorter, has more pink color to it. Most of the beard tongues are going to be white, but look at the fall color, and this is persistent, and the basal growth down here at the bottom will turn this dark red and go right on in through the winter as well.
Right.
So not just a summer blooming color, but a fall leaf color and the basal growth winter color.
Now, one of my favorite shrubs, native or non-native, is oak leaf hydrangea. I just don't think you can beat them. And this is ruby slippers.
Ruby slippers, and I tell you, the oak leaf hydrangeas have just come on as a whole new thing now, because these selections that came out of the USDA testing with down out of McMinnville. So there's now, you can not only get different sizes, ultimate sizes. Ruby slippers tops out about the 4 to 5 foot range. There's one called Queen of Hearts that does about 6 feet. And then there's one called Munchkin, of course, which is going to be the shortest.
Sure.
And you're talking about 2 to 3 feet on that one. But what is really great, you know, we also know the oak leaf hydrangeas are very susceptible to leaf spots, especially through the summer. And these are really clean, which gives you better fall color. The bloom stands up, goes from white, fades white to amethyst pink color. So you almost get 2 tones of color out of the bloom. Outstanding, and I can, because it's not as susceptible to the leaf spot, I can put this in more sun than a lot of the other oak leaf hydrangeas.
Right, and in my garden, ruby slippers hangs on to this fall color well into like end of November, 1st of December, sometimes even almost
up
until
around the
Christmas.
holidays. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and speaking of holiday plants, this is Winterberry Holly.
Correct.
And this is also grown commercially as a cut stem, especially around the holidays.
Right, and you know what the florist would do is cut this and not put it in a bucket of water so much. They would put it in a dry vase. Now, this is a deciduous holly, which means that all these leaves that you see on it now will be gone in a few more weeks.
Sure.
And then all you're getting is a silhouette of these red berries, okay?
Yep.
So, great winter interest plant, great cut plant to bring indoors also. Now, I also want to mention that they are what we call dioecious. Dioecious means that you have the female plant here. To have these berries, you've got to have a male winterberry somewhere around.
Right, but you can have multiple female bushes and a male pollinator. As long as you have the right one, you know, you'll get berries.
We have done a lot of designs where we've used winterberries, and we may put in, you know, 10 to 20 winterberries in a large bed. 1 3-gallon male, and it has to be Southern Gentleman, that's the name of it, will do the pollinating and let the bees do their thing.
Sure. So towering up above us here is a great plant that a lot of people might not be familiar with. I think everybody knows what bald cypress is.
Yes.
But this is a little bit different.
Yeah, Troy, this is pond cypress. This is Taxodium ascendens. The needles are much finer, almost grass-like, okay? And this particular variety is called debonair, and what debonair is known for is more upright.
Very upright.
So if people have in their yard a tighter space and they can't afford one to get very large, then the debonair works. So, you know, the taxodiums, or the cypresses, are deciduous conifers. That means that, you know, they have needles, but
like a juniper or a pine,
right,
same family.
But being deciduous, they go through the fall color and drop their needles. So if you look at how small these leaves are on this tree, not much trash down below.
Right.
And what we have found over the years is we can plant these in people's yards that have heavy clay. And they don't have to put it in a bucket of water like the cypresses are.
Right.
But you can put this in some heavy clay. It does great without much extra water.
And it gets this beautiful kind of orangey bronze color in the fall, and it holds on to it for a while.
Keeps it for a couple of months. Yeah, absolutely.
Before the leaves fall. All right. So then in front of me, we have Dyer Villa?
Dyer Villa, I tell you, the Dyer Villas are the southern bush honeysuckles, and as soon as I say that common name, people say, oh, bush honeysuckle. And around Nashville, we know that that non-native invasive bush honeysuckle that's in the parks and in a lot of people's backyards, not a good plant. So this is where the common name is not so good.
Right.
But this is a Dyer Villa, and I'm crazy about the Dyer Villas because they're very drought tolerant. They handle dry shade, which is a hard scenario sometimes to meet. And as you can see, the fall color is spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, we're mid-October, not even quite mid-October here, and we're already getting really good fall color.
Good fall color, persistent for a couple more months.
And little spring blooms.
Yeah, small yellow flowers,
yellow
the pollinators like.
And then in front of us, down here on the ground.
Right, a lot of people wouldn't realize this, but you know, of course, we're in the land of the cedars here in Middle Tennessee, and you know, we can't put a cedar in front of someone's house and it not take over the world, but there are these selections that stay short, and this is Royo, and as you can see with the sapphire blue berries, this is a female, and it tops out at about 4 to 5 feet, so it's a good foundation plant.
Right.
Plant it where you don't.
Kind of a spreading habit.
It has a little more spreading habit. I like fitting several together so that they kind of layer on top of each other. But you know, you think about it, it is a Juniper virginiana. So the toughest evergreen in Middle Tennessee is without a doubt going to be the eastern red cedar. But you don't have to get one that gets, you know, monstrous. So good shrub.
Exactly. And to wrap up, we've got a couple of really interesting, unusual plants that I want to talk about. The first one is this little pine tree.
Yeah, this is something that 20 years ago we had a hard time growing because this grows down south along the coast, and this is the longleaf pine. This is Pinus palustris, and it kind of has a cousin it kind of look to it right now, and that's the way they look, and then they'll grow up kind of fast. And interestingly, the longleaf pine, you know, when you go and buy pine straw as a mulch, you know, from the garden centers, this is the pine straw you're getting because it has such a long needle to it. It makes a really nice pine straw. And people will look at this and say, wow, that's amazing. I've never seen anything like that before. Well, for us, it's a native plant, a North American native plant that's new for our area. And we're able to use it more now.
The interesting thing about this from a landscape, from a design perspective, is that this is just an exclamation point for the first 5 or 6 years. It grows 10, 15 feet tall without ever having to branch. It's just a long telephone pole of weeping needles.
Telephone pole is
eventually it will branch and become an actual tree. So, and the final one that I want to talk about is something that's really new to the market. I mean, it's been floating around kind of the collector's circles for a while, but it's finally making it into the mainstream. And this is an unusual hybrid. Native hybrid. It
is a native hybrid, but it's unusual in the fact that it's an intergeneric hybrid, meaning that you got two genera that they cross. A lot of hybrids are crossed by species, which is that second name that you see.
Magnolia to magnolia.
Right. And so this is a Franklinia crossed with a Gordonia, okay? The name is X. Gordolinia Grandiflora. And so the idea is that it's to make the Franklinia Alitamaha a tougher plant. And Dr. Tom Rainey in North Carolina that did a lot of breeding work, introduced a lot of great plants. He wanted to make a Franklinia that was tougher. And of course, we know the story about Franklinia. It's completely expirated in the wild. But we still want it, but it's kind of temperamental.
It's very difficult to grow.
Culture.
Very site-specific.
He took a plant that was in the same family, not in the same genus, which the Gordonia, Gordonia lisianthus, and it's an evergreen out in the wild, and the fall color is okay. But the Franklinia, fully deciduous, great fall color.
Right.
By crossing this semi-evergreen with this beautiful fall colored deciduous plant, he made an unbelievable tree. And I have to say, this is my favorite tree in the nursery right now.
Right.
Is the Gordolinia. It's in the tea family, so it looks like a camellia bloom, white bloom with a gold eye to it. And what's really cool about this fall color is that up around January, it still has the fall color.
Has some of its leaves because of the Gordonia background.
Crossing with the evergreen, correct.
Yeah, and this is a really great example of, we've talked about this occasionally before in some segments. When you hybridize, what you're hopeful of is that you get the best qualities of both parents. And sometimes that also includes increased vigor. And that's what we have in this plant. A plant that, like you said, Franklinia is difficult to grow, kind of temperamental, very site specific. Gordonia, which isn't quite hardy for us, and you get the hardiness plus the semi-evergreen, plus the fall color, plus the bloom, and you get all of the best features of every plant.
It's a win-win-win-win-win.
Mike, thanks so much for having us out to Grow Wild again and taking a look at some of these beautiful plants for fall and winter color.
Thank you, Troy, for coming out.
For inspiring garden tours, growing tips, and garden projects, visit our website at volunteergardener.org or on YouTube at the Volunteer Gardener channel, and like us on Facebook.